We're at the Hotel Chisca here, right at the intersection of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue and South Main Street, a very iconic location in downtown Memphis, just one block from the Orpheum Theater and Beale Street. 10 blocks south of here is our two train stations that built in 1912 and 1914. So the Chisca opened in 1913, right in the middle of that railroad boom here. By the 1940s, there were 92 passenger trains coming through here. This was a very busy area at the time with the railroad industry on the west side of the street and all the businesses on the east side of the street. The Chisca lasted up to about post-World War II. The Todd family opened it in the 1970s. They sold it to the Church of God in Christ International for $10 at that time. A nice deal right there. And the Chisca remained under their purview for about 20 years, had offices in there as a part of the Saint Center, used it for housing during their annual convocation here in November. And then they stopped using it in the 1990s. It laid empty for about 20 years. And then about 4 years ago, some investors bought the Chisca and spent about $30 million on its restoration to the residential that you see now. Now, as a part of that period up through the middle of the century in the 1960s, as Memphis and all big hotels and downtown centers had to adjust to the motor court industry we spawned with Holiday Inn here, they developed a second building here, the motor court, in 1961 to offset or compete with that travel. In 1954, on July 8th, 1954, Dewey Phillips played Elvis's first record over the airwaves here, That's All Right. Played it over 15 times that night because the kids kept on calling in for it. And it was the music the kids loved and the parents hated. Dewey had been playing music from 1949 to 1958. Music by black artists, music by white artists on the same radio station in the same hour in the South, which was unheard of at the time, but the kids loved it. And so it was a very popular DJ over the years. There's two Tony Award-winning musicals about Memphis music history. One is Memphis the Musical, loosely based on Dewey's life, and the other is the $1 Million Quartet from that same era. So a great building music-wise, great music, great building being the premier hotel for the first 20 years of the 20th century, competed with the Gayoso, no new Peabody yet or Claridge House. So it was a terrific building here, a very nice cornerstone to the new development in South Main that happened here 2 years ago when it reopened. One of the neat things about this building, back in 2011, Memphis Heritage had a list, the top 5 priorities, the most endangered buildings in downtown Memphis. Hotel Chisca, Tennessee Brewery, Sears Crosstown, 19th Century Club, and Claiborne Temple. So all those buildings have been saved and redeveloped during that time, and as you've seen. So that's just a great little statistic for Memphis Heritage. And I think some of that has to do with the Newman Collection showing those buildings in their life for real. People could believe by seeing those pictures, and now seeing them in their new use, they can really believe, you know.